It was a sad moment in my life, and I remember when I got the news, I was with two of my friends, and it was in the morning, and we were doing our own stuff, sitting and chilling. It was during December time, and when I got the message, it was a WhatsApp message actually, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like.
Just refer to welcome to yet another scrumptious episode of our SJV Conversation podcast. I'm your man, James Obakleke, and I'll be your host tonight. And as usual, namhlanje ndaba naye ke obakema kwamasekla uInnocent ke abamaziyo ezilalini zaseHammanskraal. He will be my co-host here tonight. He's also our station commander and manager, and also he is our producer. And before I give him the slot tonight, we honor and remember the late Student Council President, Brother Gabriel Lesetla Lengoabala. We have his close friends here with us in the studio tonight, and one of them is his successor as President of the Council. We have also Gabriel Lesetla, who is also the Master of Ceremonies of our liturgical celebrations. He worked with Lesetla in his council. I'm sure you have seen him also serving as the MC in the big masses around the Archdiocese of Pretoria. Also we have His Excellency President Brett David Young, serving as the 39th President of SJVSC since it was founded in 1986. This podcast is historical because Lesetla Lengoabala was the 38th President of this institution. All come over, gang. And please tell us more about today or tonight's topic. Although it is sad to talk about it, but we have to rejoice and celebrate his brother, our brother Lesetla, and classmate as well. Over to you, Wagang.
Oh yes, good evening to our listeners. Really, James, today we want to celebrate someone who we can just say a legend in a way, because he had his own unique character. I mean, if you know him, sometimes he was moody, sometimes, short-tempered. But today, really, we want to celebrate him. We want to celebrate who he was, the contribution that he has made to our own institution, to our own lives. I mean, some of us, we met him back in 2017, and really, we have so many fond memories of him. And I'm sure also his successor here, there are big shoes to fill, especially because that was a man of style. I'm not even sure if we are well dressed for this occasion, but yeah, I hope that really we are representing him well, and really a very welcome to you guys. Welcome to our studio. I know it's not easy to talk about someone who has who was among us and he's no more, and most of the time it feels so strange to actually think of him as a past tense, to say if only he was here, So welcome to our His Excellency Brett. I think James did his research. I mean, he even knows the number of the presidency. he hasn't told us the number of MCs.
No, MCs go with the president.
Yeah, but he can't be the 39th.
Why not?
Because he was elected with Lesetla. So it's the 38th.
Lesetla was the 38th president.
Yes, and the MC?
Yeah, he should be the 38th, but I'm concerned about the president. You are right. Lesetla was not the MC, he was the president. But before we go any further, I would like to share some insights with the people at home, especially those who are following us for this podcast. Lesetla Lengoabala lived his life until the fullest. So let's watch and memorize his legacy. right. First questions first. Jens, you are most welcome. Sifafe here is one of the presenters, as you normally see him, but tonight he's the guest,
and he's on the hot seat,
and he's on the. Okay, let's start with you, Mr. MC, as a friend and as a brother also to the late namesake Gabriel Lesetla. You know, when I was at school, I had a friend also who was my best friend, and he happened to be Angela as well. So we were very close. And for some time, I was depressed in my life, especially at school, because we used to sit together next to each other in the desk. And I can imagine for you as an adult, how was the feeling when you learned the news that your namesake is no more? Draw that picture for us. What did you suffer from? How were the feelings?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, James, and thank you, brothers, for inviting us. And yeah, I'm used to asking questions, not being So yeah, going to the feelings, I think it was a sad moment in my life. It was a very sad period of my life, and I remember when I got the news, I was with two of my friends, and it was in the morning, and we were doing our own stuff, sitting and chilling. It was during December time, and when I got the message, it was a WhatsApp message actually, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you are joking, bro. And that guy sent me a screenshot, so that's when it started to sink in, and I remember calling one of his family members, and they didn't know that much about the event, but I just let it slide, like maybe it's misunderstanding,
maybe the playing or something,
So by there, when time goes on, when you start to realize that it was indeed happening, the news were true, I think that's when I became this, it was a bit sad for me, not be a bit sad, but it was like severe sad. But with time, I let the feelings to express themselves, and it's very difficult to speak about feelings, when it comes to this, because you don't know how you feel. You don't know. I think you're not fully conscious of your feelings.
You're a bit shattered or something. Yeah. I mean, like the way I received the call, someone just calls and say, "When last did you speak to Gabriel?" No, just yesterday. Like yesterday, and then the person hangs up, and you're like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then the next person calls you. When last did you speak to Gabriel? And now you start thinking, what's happening? Why is everyone asking you about this person? And when now they start relating the news, for a minute you're like, man, what's happening? You guys stop pranking me,
Yeah.
But after, when you call a couple of people, you're like, hey, it seems like it's true. Because really, when I received the call, I was on bed. It was after our morning mass, and then I'm like, hey, okay, I was just chilling there watching some series. So now, Chogozi calls. When last did you speak to Gabriel? I'm like, no, yesterday. It's like, oh, okay. And then he hangs up. I'm like, he doesn't know what he wants. Yeah. So I continue with my series. Now I get a call from a very different person. Now this person calls me and says, when last did you speak to Gabriel? And now he's crying. Why are you crying when I spoke to Gabriel yesterday? It's like, no, Gabriel is no more. I was flying away. Then the person hangs up the call. I go outside, I was at the gathering. I'm like, should I sit down? Should I stand up? And I decided, no, you know what? The first person I'm going to call Gabriel. Gabriel has to tell me what is happening.
And I didn't answer any calls, man.
He didn't answer any call. And I'm like, hey, this guy's not answering me. I think you called me later on. And now, after he said, yeah, no, it's true. It's now you're like, yo, okay. Then I have to call KG. Hey, KG, this is the news I just got now. Have you got the news? So yeah, really, emotions for some time you get shut. I mean, I think we share the very same sentiments. You get shut. You don't know what to do. Thank God I was not on top of a tree or something. Most probably I would have fallen.
I think at some point we will be emotional as a class now, and also the presenters might be. emotional about this podcast. But I wanted to ask the president, about not only his friendship with the late president, but to take his office as well. It might sound or appear to other people as if you were power hungry. And sometimes it may even appear that you killed him. I mean, let's be realistic about these things. They happen in politics and in companies, in whatever. How did you feel to become a president, to fill in his shoes?
Well, firstly, when I got the news, I first thought, okay, I don't believe what is happening, and only after the dates for the funeral and the memorial were posted did it actually sink in that this is happening. A while later, then I thought, but now this is the president of the SA. What's going to happen now? I feel sorry for the person who's going to take over his shoes.
Did you know it's you?
You're feeling sorry for yourself.
I think that's why you own it,
And I even went to my parish priest and I told him, no, this thing happened. But he was the president. What's going to happen now? I even said, I feel sorry for the person who's going to take over. And little did I know that I would end up being the one in that position. From my side, it's difficult to actually take over this position because I still feel like, for me, my president is Gabriel Lesetla. I'm not the president. I'm just here to fill in his shoes and to push whatever ideas he had. That's the only. That's why I didn't even do an inaugural speech because I was going to actually reread his speech just to show that the regime is not changing. We are now going to fulfill whatever Lesetla had in his mind. We want to go to his vision. So we were trying to pull everyone to his vision, not mine. Because
I think you answered some of the questions I wanted to ask. About about that speech actually. Your speech also, when you were inaugurated there. I think it was on a Sunday.
yes.
Within Mass. You mentioned that some of the plans that you want to implement are Lesetla's plans. I understand that each and every SC has its own manifesto, plans and ideas, which is natural because people govern different times, so you are keeping that legacy, Lesetla's plans and visions.
Look, I'm doing my best. My vice president is normally the one who will tell me, hey, Lesetla wanted this thing. Then I drop everything and we go for that immediately. He told me this was Lesetla's dream, that for Sports Day we're supposed to have this particular thing. And I'm like, okay, we're working towards that now. So I've already done some kind of fundraising and donation letters in how can I say, to move to that direction.
I think, Gab, let's give our viewers a picture of who this person is. I mean, he was not just a president out of the blue. I mean, let us relate the story. Meeting Lesetla, you meet this guy for the very first time, most probably in Cape Town. What came into mind? What are memories that you can share with our viewers of this person? Maybe if you can just give a picture or relate this friendship of yours, how it developed with this man from the moment you met him, how you even, you were even close. There was a time Gabriel used to wear the same clothes as Gabriel. we are not even sure about undies. Maybe they were having the very same, and because they would wear the same, you would never distinguish between Gab and Gab. You will never know which one is which, especially first time in Cape Town. You see these two people, you're like, are they twins? But now you see that they come from different dices. What is funny? Maybe relate the story to us.
Yeah, I think it started when we were in Cape Town. There was one Saturday when we decided, what, as guys from Bloemfontein Metropolitan, let's go out. Let's go to town. And I remember we took a train to town, and when we got there, we were chilling, having our fun, and then we bought food. I think at that moment, that's when we started to actually become friends, because I remember everyone went to his own place and I was left with him, and we're eating chips and fish. You know.
What was the metropolitan in Cape Town? Who belonged?
It was Kateo from
From the
yeah,
okay. So
yeah, quite a good number though.
Yeah.
I never thought of a metro.
So that's when I think we actually started to speak, you know, to really have a conversation with him. And funny enough, we started to, you know, I'm a very difficult person to open up to someone, you know. So that's when I started to realize, oh, this guy is trying to make me open up, to speak to him, to tell him more about myself, you know. I think that's when our relationship really started. And in that relationship, it was not only about clothes and stuff. And funny enough, about clothes. We didn't wear the same clothes. You see, the problem comes where we used to shop at the same thing, at the same shop. So you will buy something like this, I'll buy something like this when I'm home, you know.
Yeah.
And come back, it's like,
They have the same thing. So
yeah, exactly. But some of them actually we
but James, you remember they also influenced the name of our group in Cape Town.
Yeah,
And we were now Guardian Angels because we had 3 angels in the group.
yeah.
They always influenced us. So you're not part of that.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I mean, even the formator of that group is here in Pretoria now. He's the secretary of the bishops for the Hugh O'Connor. So yeah, he noted that there are more angels than the saints. You know, and remember, Katlego as well was
an angel.
Michael, you know. So I can't remember how many saints we had, but I was one of the saints there. Come on, of course.
Saint James.
I'm sure. But and then one of the things, just to come across your thing. So we used to kind of concoct this gospel. This guy came up with it. He said, I think he wanted to make me feel comfortable with this thing. He said, you will see the angels and the saints. It's not there in the Bible. The saints part is not there. But I think he wanted me to feel comfortable. So I also thought that it was in the Bible, that the saints and the angels will ascend and descend upon the Son of Man. But having said that about the friendship and the clothing and whatnot, your friendship, the way it started and that, or rather was he the same person in the diocese or in the province of the Free State as he was in the seminary or wherever we would have met Lesetla? Was he always the same person? Obakeng at the beginning mentioned that Lesetla, I know as well, he didn't take nonsense. Lesetla was...
It was a sad moment in my life, you know. It was a very sad period of my life, and I remember when I got the news, I was with 2 of my friends, and it was in the morning, and we were doing our own stuff, you know, sitting and chilling, you know. It was during December time, and when I got the message, it was a WhatsApp message actually, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, no, you're joking, right? And then
to sleep. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to sleep.
Yeah.
It's now it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, no, now let's go to the next place. I'm like, no, let's go to bed.
So as we were going further on your, or rather deeper on your friendship with the late president, was he always the same person in the diocese or in the province at most, or than he was in the seminary, or would he be slightly different as a person who knew him in the province and also in the seminary? Was he always the same person?
He was the same person, you know. That guy was not a two-faced person, you know. For you, he'd be like this. For this guy, he'd be like, yeah. If he didn't like something, he didn't like like it, whether he knows you or he doesn't know you, and he was a straight talker, and like you said, he always panicked, he was shut up, but he was, sometimes you will tell me, I see things that people don't see. I notice everything. And I think when you reflect about it, sometimes when you see, I'm here, you're wrong, but sometimes you was right, sometimes you was right. But one thing that I like, he always speaks his mind to everyone. He was not a two-faced person. He was just a sweet talker.
I enjoyed staying, or rather sitting with him at Mass, especially Sunday Masses. I don't know about you guys, but he always found something wrong about whoever is preaching, whoever is reading, whoever is serving. But there will be something that is going to be funny to him. And then he ends up disturbing you. Not paying attention to what is being said or what is being done. Brett, did you experience something like that about him?
I can't recall the exact event, but I remember his laughter in the chapel. Like I'd be sitting and he wouldn't laugh like this. He would laugh. And after that, whatever you are busy thinking, it's gone. It's out of your mind.
Yeah.
So I've had that experience more than one occasion actually. So.
Now, Brett, for 4 years, the four of us, including Sifafe, we would drive to the Free State for about 4 or 5 years, and even when we come back from our respective dioceses, there are a couple of things that annoyed me as an individual. I don't know about you. The question is for you actually. What memories? It doesn't have to be positive or negative, but just your insights on that. My annoyment was on you guys don't want to drive, and you expect me to drive all, the long distance with you guys eating and whatever you were doing, playing games and stuff. That's one thing about Lesetla. And Lesetla would want to drive first, maybe from Pretoria to Sasolburg. And then after that, he will never touch the car again. And it's the same thing when we come up. Any insights on those moments?
Well, don't expose us. Don't expose what you do.
I think there are two things actually. Firstly,
you don't want to
he has an aversion to sleep. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to sleep.
Yeah.
It's midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. He's like, no, now let's go to the next place. I'm like, no, let's go to bed. And then the second thing is actually his driving. He drove my father's manual. So
The Corolla.
whenever he comes to a stop street or a speed bump or something that will require him to stop, he will stop. But he will pull away in second gear and he will struggle to pull away, and I'm asking him all the time, why? It's like he's just lazy. And so what happened, I think just a few hours later, I was driving and I came to a stop street. So I wanted to put the coin first, but I put the coin third. And I pulled away, and he's watching me now. He's like, what did you just do? I pulled away in third, my bad. You must teach me how to do that.
I think also Obakeng, he enjoyed driving an automatic car than a manual. I remember when the Jazz was here, Brett's car. He enjoyed driving that car. But another car, he wouldn't. He didn't enjoy, for instance, driving seminary car. Let's be honest. He always wanted a manual, and he would rather pay for the fuel and drive that car. And one of the things I remember is that I think he was more used to drive the manual car now than an automatic.
Yes.
And he happened to change it in the freeway. He changed an automatic car and just shouted up, "Oh my flip!" And I was sitting at the back doing my own stuff, as you know, guys. You know, I like to do my stuff at the back seat. Katie wouldn't know about that. That's a very nice thing to have people behind the scenes who don't know what you do in front. But yeah, so I mean, we were in the freeway. I think we were probably fetching someone from the airport or something. But he said, "Oh my flip!" And then everything changed, the mood, and you know, the mind is no longer on what I was doing. And maybe Obakeng, if we will go to you now, in class, do you have any kind of memories that you will share with us?
So I'm now becoming an interviewer. I'm interviewing. They're interviewing me now. Well, yeah, I mean, there are many great moments, great memories that I have with Gab, you know. Well, in class, he was always a quiet person, especially when a particular lecturer who just came recently, about 2 years ago, when he would ask him questions, you know, his answer will always be, "I don't know." Even if he knows, "I don't know." You know, and yeah, really, I think my memories of him are actually outside the classroom. I think I have had a couple of drives with him, especially when we were preparing for the previous year's concert. We used to go to Tembisa a lot of times. No. And I think another great memory was when I went with him to his home, when I was visiting his home after his mother's funeral that December, and we drove with Gab here. You know, the guy during the day, he was so active, going up and down, you know, doing whatever he wanted to do in Pretoria. By the time we went to Sasolburg, the guy was gone. The guy was gone. But he was one person who would always say to you, "We only live once, but you know," and most of the time you have to say, "No, we live every day, but we die once." But he was somebody who always say, "Let us live the life of the party." You know, he was someone who wanted to have fun. If there was no fun, you won't find him there. You know, he was someone who wanted to enjoy. He wanted us to have fun. You know, I think our last memory of having fun, I won't say it on record, but yeah, it was one of those days that I think still remains with me. When I visited him, like Brett said, he's one person, he doesn't like to sleep. Past 12, 2 o'clock, Baba, let's go to the next. If this one closes, we go to the next location. This one closes to the next location. Next minute is in the morning, you know. So yeah, that was him.
Ladies and gentlemen at home, we are here on our SJV Conversation podcast. We are with His Excellency Brett Young and the MC Gabriel Lesetla. We are honoring the late president and remembering him, Gabriel Lesetla Lengoabala, who passed on last year. Gentlemen, we had a leader, and where to from here? How can we keep, I know the president and the SC are trying to push his legacy, his plans, his visions, but where to from here? Lesetla wanted to become a priest. This is our last full year as seminarians. He was looking forward to finishing this year actually, although he never saw a son of it. Where to from here, gents? As a class now, as his friends, what would you say, Gabriel? This is probably the best way to keep his legacy, his memory alive. And I think someone in his memorial service said that he was kind of suggesting, I don't know if it was the president or you, Obakeng, when you read the president's speech, that maybe it's time to, when we get ordained, please God, we leave that priesthood in his honor as well. Yeah, Jens, what do you think? What can we push, you know, to keep Lesetla in our minds forever?
For me, I think I also mentioned also in the speech that I gave during the memorial service that you know, this vocation is no longer.
Oh, it's
My
probably
own-
you. Yeah, now it makes
He had the longest speech ever.
It's no longer mine only, you know. I have to leave it for him also, you know, because I knew how much he wanted to become a priest, you know. And I remember his late mother once said to us, yeah, if it was my wish, I would like you guys to be ordained on the same day at the same place, you know. So now that he's no more and Gap is no more, so I think I have to feel also not only my shoes but his shoes also, you know. And you know, we used to share a lot of memories about the vestments, about how that day will be, you know, how we're gonna live our priesthood. So I think it's like so.
Do you think your vestments would have been the same?
Most probably. Most probably.
I think we will come from the same place, but with different,
different
Different patterns.
But most probably,
And most probably similar cars as well.
yeah, you know.
Idiots.
Well, they are idiots.
Idiots, you know, the idiot car.
Oh, I think they would have opted for Toyota Quest.
That one is big. I hope my future bishop is looking at
Talk to your bishop now. He's listening to your future bishop. You might. Yeah.
No, but it's all about that, you know, living my vocation always with him in mind, you know, because I think the problem that I have now is the fact that, you know, it's not about you don't want to forget about the person, because if you forget about the person, it's like he doesn't no longer exist in life anymore. So in my mind, I always like remember him, you know. There's a picture of him in my room actually.
Yeah.
You know, every morning when I wake up and I'm like, hey, or when it's tough, I'm like, brah, hi.
Do something.
So yeah, I think that's the motive that I have, you know, to keep me going. Because to be honest, it's a very difficult year this year. It's a very difficult year.
Of course.
So yeah, I think sometimes I just speak to him to motivate me.
I'm sure even when you want to do something out of line, you're like, hey, he's watching me now.
Hey, my brother.
That guilt of doing something.
There was one time I remember we were going out with him, you know, and we were doing we were breaking the rules actually, you know, at home, not at school, but at home. We were breaking the rules. And I remember we were in the car and we were standing at the robot and we looked at each other and we were like, it's like, yo, man, I'm sure where our parents are looking at us. They're like, hey, this guy's So I always remember that, you know. So yeah. But there's no one to do those things.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Mr. Youngbread,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure there's a lot you'd like to share about this man.
Yeah, there is, but there are some things I can't share, unfortunately. As Safafi already alluded to that, yeah, sometimes we do break the rules. So, and those are normally the most precious memories.
Exactly.
So,
I think the rules are meant to be broken. I think Lesetla liked to say that, you know.
Of course.
Well, there's just one thing I say, and I think he still owes me. He must just keep it up there and wait for me. He owes me a bottle of wine.
Oh, okay.
There's this wine that I've been looking for the wine for the past 5 years.
Is that Sela Cast?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've only found it in the boxes, and I've never found it in the bottle again.
And it's quite expensive now.
Yeah, so I had this bottle. I kept it. This is for a celebration, but
for him it was not for a celebration.
And he made sure. And I was like, no, you owe me a bottle. So, okay, it's fine. I'll give you your bottle. So I've been looking for the bottle for years now. So it's clear that he has the bottle up there.
It's waiting for you.
Yeah. You know the other thing one of you mentioned earlier on about him using bombastic words.
Oh, yes.
You know, I don't know about you, but you know, every time he would text me on WhatsApp, there will be a strange name or word that I have to search in order for me to comprehend what he was saying.
I actually have a memory of that. He always asked me to check his reflection, and he always say, if you see a space, just take away a few words and then add a big one there just so that I can see it. And so I'd be like, okay, this is how you pronounce this word. This word means this. Okay.
Yeah.
And now he would use it and confidently, so he would stand up with his chest out and then he would just say this word and everyone would be like, huh?
One time on those words, I think that year I have learned the word scrumptious, and I think he learned the word benevolent or something. But he would walk around the corridor and shout that word just to impress anybody who comes across. So little did he know that I also have a new name, which I haven't, paid attention to. So he said, yeah, what? And then benevolent. Hey, then I was perplexed. Then I said, oh yeah, I'm feeling scrumptious today. And he looked at me and said, damn, can you spell that thing? I didn't know how to spell it, but I checked on my phone, and then I said, this is how you pronounce it, this is how it's written. I said, what does it mean? So I should, it's something when it's scrumptious, it's nice and tasty and all that. So that's how you learn people like this. Like you have something on guard, so that when they shoot, you also produce your bomb. Otherwise, if you don't read, the cycle won't be your friend. Brett, to go back to you, I won't say much about this, but it's something that happened in the Free State. Actually, both of you concocted this thing. It happened that some of us fell asleep. We fell asleep. We were tired. We came from mass and prayers and visiting the sick and all that. But two guys just disappeared, just like that. Maybe, Brett, this is the time to tell us, where did you go with Lesetla that night?
You see, man, what I love about me is that I have a horrible memory.
You don't remember nothing. I don't remember anything.
Yeah. Okay, now during exams, I used to struggle with being annoyed though. I don't know if you wanted us to talk about it on live here, but the second I used to ask a lot of questions during exams, and you are one of the culprits or victims he used to ask. And I know you are not a morning person, and we write exams in the morning. And the second would be first and foremost late in the exam room, and then he goes to every row and asks questions, and I would see Sufafa that he's not pleased about it at all. Tell us more.
You see, when you are someone's brother, you have to always be there for help, even though you don't feel like talking. Because sometimes you just go there to the exam room and you're like, can I just get a question paper and write and finish, And then you'll be coming, asking questions. Or in the morning after morning prayer, I'll come to my room. What is the sentence in this? I can't explain it. I can't explain it.
You don't even know how to explain it on paper.
So, it was difficult, but you'll have to help your brother. We all want to be priest after all.
True,
so
true.
You'll have to help in either way.
Yeah.
But
in those, I remember, again, before I come to you again, when we would serve, especially the main chapel, Brother former president didn't like it, and I was always coming to your point that we when you want to help, even if you don't want to help. Every time the secretary was going to serve, I would be the first option, and then he will come with a nice excuse,
of course,
that I will be driving this and this, and then you find out, this secretary is sitting there at the pen. Any memories of that nature?
Yeah, I also when he was a lector, when he's supposed to also proclaim the word, he would always come with excuses, and he will act sick. I know I have flu and all that. But after that mass, that guy is shouting like nobody else. So that was, I mean, right just now when listening to the guys speaking, you know, and then I get this memory, this vivid memory of the, you remember the party we did with Father from Knowing in Cape Town?
Oh,
when
yeah,
we went
yeah,
at Mzoli's, you know.
Oh.
I remember how he wanted to squeeze himself in to speak Afrikaans with those colored.
And it ended up being a disaster, though.
No, but he ended up, you know.
Yeah, sure, but you
making
know,
friends.
yeah.
It was. I mean, he changed the whole scenario. Even the memorandum there was changed because of the script was written this way to say, no, brothers, we just move in there and we're just going to have fun. But of course, the Lesetla was always Lesetla. He would always change the memory. And you know, really, I think one thing about this guy is he was always himself. He never wanted to become someone else. And another thing, he never wanted anything with his family. I think that's one thing that we need to put on record, that man loved his family to the fullest. You know, and I mean also after receiving the news of the passing of his mother, you know, he always said he has to be strong for his own sisters. You know, and I think also in a way, in trying to mourn his mother, he always wanted to be the strength for his sisters. You know, and really, I think that's one thing about him, that he never even allowed his situations to change him. Rather, he would become someone to come and you know, motivate you, even if when you're feeling down, you know, feeling as if hopeless, and he'll give you, you know, words of encouragement to say, man, you know, this thing will pass. We can continue. We can, you know, that time we're expecting you to be the one, you know, telling him, oh, no, man, dude, this thing and this thing, you know, be this way. It will always be someone who motivate. I think he always motivated, you know, and even towards the end of his life, he was someone who always wrote motivational quotes. You know, if you followed him on his status, you know, and like not so long ago, you said he was speaking about him seeing things that we are not seeing. You know, there was always something that he always said, that out of everything that I'm doing, this thing and this thing and this thing will not kill me, but this specific thing is what will cause my death. Have you ever said that to you?
Yeah,
He
I
always
think
said
many times, you know.
Yeah.
And I think you will mention that, you know, you know, one thing now that will kill me, bro, it's the car.
Yeah.
You know. So when it happened, and this guy was giving his words, you know, he was prophesying or you know, giving testimony. Oh, the king. You're not testimony. He was prophesying his death. Yeah. So yeah, I think the car was, but I think it was because of the love of the car. You know, that guy loved to drive, and he was a cautious driver.
Yes.
So that's why I was like, when
he did not even trust the camera or the sensors of the car.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
never, you know, he would look literally look at the back, and then he trusted his eyes than the sensors of the car itself. I agree with you. The other thing on that, his passing, you know, the last words he said to me, face to face, I think we were writing or finishing exams. He said that he would like to be buried next to his mother. And that was it. I mean, I took it lightly. I mean, of course, most probably every guy would like to be buried next to their mothers. I mean, you don't know the message that somebody is passing until it happens. You know, when I heard about his passing, that was the first thing. God, this guy said he wanted to be buried next to his mother. But as you know, guys, also KG behind the scenes there. I've been the class rep for 3 years now. I don't know if you are planning any anniversaries or whatever, Mr. President, Mr. MC. One of the difficulties I've experienced as the class rep with Lesetla, especially on Mondays, he would be sick. So I have to bring the right form, for the sick. For those who don't know, the right form is for those who are sick or absent to be dispensed from class. I don't know where he got the. You remember the first forms? They had a stamp of some sort. They did not require a lot of signatures. So he put a stamp on all those and made a color copy of that red form. So I would always complain to him that, hey, bro, young Sogolisa, funeka ndisele form ba iyo sign of loan and alone. I said, no, twin, that is sorted. Look, I have lot of them. I said, yeah, the box of them, this box keep something. So some Mondays he would produce a copy. Hey, it's done. But the only mistake that he never noticed is that it's always the same sickness, because the crossing on the boxes that says flu, fever, allergy, whatever, it's always the same thing. So he never studied that thing. So that's one of the memories I remember about him. And I don't know now with this lot of signatures how he would have done it. But I'm sure, he's very clever. I'm sure he would have come up with something else. Guys, we are seniors now. Automatically tomorrow we will be taking over Lesetla and seniority. You know him, how much he despised that. Especially you and him, Brett, you would always talk about the seniority. I remember when we were probably doing philosophy 3, you always said, these guys are abusing us. When we are there, we won't do it like this. Brett, this is the moment. This is the right moment now. Other seminarians who are below philosophy and other theology departments or classes below us, here's the moment.
I agree with Lesetla. There was the seniority, at least the way we were treated as philosophers. I think it scarred us in a way that we don't want anything like that to happen to anyone else. And we make it a point that we won't be like that. So instead of this word of seniors, for me, seniors is a swear word. So I'm like Monsignor Mock now.
They deserve to be shot.
But seniors should be a swear word. I think we should call ourselves elder brothers, and not because seniors don't have a relationship with those below them. But an elder brother, by the mere fact that you are called a brother, there's a relationship. So I think that is something that we can emphasize now.
Senior brother Gabriel Lesetla.
You're sorry, elder brother.
It sounds like we're writing a constitution now.
I think I share the same sentiments with Brett. Seniority, it was never my favorite way of dealing with things in the house. So I think brotherhood is the nice word to use. But at times, in the house also, at times you must leave the brotherhood and show now you must do things like this, because not because you want to do things like it, but there are certain things that will prompt you to act that way, But if you approach, it depends on the approach actually also. Depends on the approach, how you approach someone or a junior brother. Do you approach him as a senior or do you approach him as a brother, But some of them you have to approach them as a senior, right? This is how it goes, But not every time to abuse the power.
So look, what I think about the seniority thing, how can I put this? Don't listen to me because I'm a senior. I'm above you. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Because what I'm telling you is trying to correct you and showing you what to do.
There's
a reason why I'm telling you this thing. Otherwise, I won't speak to you.
I won't speak. Yeah, exactly.
And you probably have been there yourself.
Exactly. So I
think one thing which is going to be strange from tomorrow is that our class never had an opportunity to move backwards, because every time when we are supposed to move backwards, there's always that program that brings us forward. Philosophy we're in front, the whole of philosophy in front. Then COVID hits, theology, now we are back in front, back in those chairs. So really, I think from tomorrow is going to be a bit strange, you know. But if there's one thing that I always find awkward, is having someone below me in class sitting behind me. I don't know, maybe it's me, but I always find it strange. It's only on Sundays during Mass where, you know, everyone sits wherever, where you don't find it strange. But I mean, during the week when someone is sitting, junior sitting behind.
I think Lesetla would have hammered you on that.
Really, ne?
Yeah.
No, but I used to say to him, that's why most of the Sundays he would say, no, rather we sit at the back. Because I would say to him, you know, it feels so strange. You know, because I really have never, I only sit at the back only on Sundays. But during the week, I don't mind, you know, sitting where I'm supposed to sit. But hey, whenever you see a junior behind me, I'm like, okay. Yeah. Let's feel strange. Because I'm not used to, because I don't even know some of the juniors even now. I think every day I see a new face. You're also a seminarian. Some of them I even call them father. Hey, hi father, how are you? Because of the stature, the way they come, the way they look. So I think maybe what Brad is saying, really, we should try.
Maybe Zoom is on another priest.
Especially when he comes to the corridors. Yeah, I think when he comes to the corridors, hey, hi father, how are you? And we need to see. So really, and I think we need to, you know, it has really been one of the great moments, you know, to reflect and to look at this brother of ours. And I think what we are saying, Mr. President, to leave this word a senior to an elder brother, you know, I think that should be our scope and something that we want to implement in this house. I think also that's what our fellow brother, the one whom we are you know, celebrating on this podcast would have wanted.
Yeah. Mr. President, thank you very much for your time. I know you are the very, very busy man in the seminary, and you know,
I think when I called his secretary to ask for his
book.
appointment, it's like, I think it's fully booked, but we will see what we can do.
That's what I got. I said, oh my God. Even Lesetla was not this busy. I think because Brett leaves his presidency and Lesetla's presidency at the same time, hence it should be so busy for you. Yeah, Mr. President, thanks for the homily also tonight. It was powerful. And, thank you very much. You are a great leader. We look up to you. We are here to support you, Mr. MC. Yeah.
EPY.
I'll see you next time.
This is my home. This is my show. It's not your show. No, next week you will say that. Yeah. This is not a chapter now. But I thank you very much for your time, and keep on streaming live with us on our Facebook page and also on our Instagram, and more precisely on our YouTube page. Tonight we were remembering our late president, Lesetla Gabriel Lengoabala. Situkuya for continue to rest in peace. Kondizima genge. Let's capture tonight. Sharp.
I wanted to say that I don't think it's ending well. What happened to your motto now?
Yeah,
I guess.
No,
I don't know feelings come just.
No, tonight I'm giving it to Lesetla. I don't mind about these guys. What are Lesetla? Until we see you again, bro.
Thank you very much. Good that.
Brad, your phone is black and white. What's going on?
Black and white?
Black and white. Oh, serious. What's going on, Brad?
I don't know. You must remember, I don't even have this thing awake.
Really?
Yeah.
No, but I think if it's recording like this, maybe it's battery.